might be a matchup with the big talking heads.
Was there anything that I know you would pick? I'm sure Mayweather against Mayweather. Let's put aside the PED and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, if they fight, I pick the fight like this. If they fight with the random drug test, I pick Floyd Mayweather. If they fight without the random drug test, I pick Manny Pacquiao. I don't think the fight gets made without the random drug test, so then ultimately I have to pick Floyd Mayweather, yeah, or it won't happen, exactly.
Anything in the, I mean, is Plotty a New York fighter, you know him? I mean, what happens to a guy on that biggest stage?
I don't think he froze. I just think Clottey is a guy who usually walks you down, breaks you down on his tight defense, kind of lets you shoot your low a little bit, tries to break you down, pot shots you in between, and then as your output fades, he starts to pick up the pace. He did that with Zab, and he does that consistently with a lot of fighters. But Manny Pacquiao doesn't fade. Manny Pacquiao doesn't get tired. If Manny Pacquiao, like he did Saturday night, throws 100 punches every round, and you throw them at that kind of speed, which is more energy burning, and people still don't think it's a problem. People still think it's all normal. People just still think, oh, he just works hard. People got to stop watching all the Rocky movies and understand there's a difference with movies and there's a difference in real life. Human beings don't do that with the help of something else. And that's how I feel, and that's what I think happened on Saturday night. That's it, and Josh saw that. He couldn't get off, and he never did get off because Manny could have kept throwing 100 punches around for 20 rounds, and people still would have thought it was normal. That was the best. People still would have thought there was nothing supernatural about him or nothing suspicious about him. But again, this is not the Manny Pacquiao press conference. I'm sick of talking about Manny Pacquiao. This is Paulie Malignaggi versus Amir Khan.
Mayweather, and I know you admire Mayweather as a fighter, just his skill.
Yeah.
I mean, if he throws that number of punches,
he doesn't, and that's why there's nothing suspicious about Mayweather. He makes you miss, he makes you pay, he paces himself, he does what it is. If he gets hit in the chin, he's gonna go down. He reacts like a regular human being when it goes up and down. He doesn't go up knocking everyone out. Like, there's nothing suspicious. He goes up in weight. He knocked out less guys as he went up in weight. All the normal things of a fighter that moves up in weight, that happens. If he's going to have success, that's how guys that go up in weight have success. Not like Manny Pacquiao.
Your comments are not personal because you don't even know Pacquiao. Your comments are as another fighter, as a world.
My comments are as another fighter, but they've become personal because I think he's two-faced. I think he plays his whole good guy role, and because he plays the whole good guy role, they think like he can't cheat. He's such a nice guy. Isn't that why it's not possible to play the good guy role and be cheating? I mean, don't you think that could be in some crazy conspiracy-filled world that could be part of the plan? Let me just be a nice guy so people will think less that I'm cheating. I mean, I don't know. Think about it.
Paulie, talk about the mental aspect that Amir Khan has to deal with coming to the States and fighting you.
Yeah, I got into it a little bit on stage. Listen, I don't know what goes on in his brain. I don't know what goes on in my brain. I know what goes on in my head when I'm in the fight. But, if I have to say from personal experience, for the first time on a big stage and a crowd against you, I had that in the Caldwell fight, first time on a big stage, a crowd against me. It plays a little bit on your mind. You can say it doesn't, but sometimes it plays a little bit on your mind to a certain point. How much it plays on his mind, though, only he knows that, when he gets in the ring and fights, But, I know from personal experience, this is not going to be a situation that he's so used to, And I'm sure throughout his whole career, I'm sure he's been cheered at, and I'm sure he's even been booed at times, but never to the extent he's going to get it on May 15th, where the crowd is that big and they're making a conscious effort to be against him.
Now, putting speed aside, what advantages do you have over Amir Khan that he's going to give him trouble that night of May 15th?
I'm multidimensional, really. Maybe not so much when I was with Buddy McGirt, but with my new trainer, he kind of lets me think outside the box and lets me, use my athletic ability. And so, I can make you miss from different angles. I can make you pay from different angles. I use my athletic ability in some ways where, we're not always by the book, but I'm fast enough to get away with it. And, the angles we make you miss at, the angles we counterpunch you at, the angles we attack at, it's a little bit something different than your textbook boxer that's just going to have his hands up boxing in front of you like Amir's been facing so far, So from that aspect, and he's got somebody who can pretty much match his speed. Whether people think he's faster than me or not, you have to admit the speed is close regardless. And so in that aspect, I can do all those things and match him pretty much with speed. So, it's going to be something that he hasn't faced before. And in the event that I do get tagged in my chin, we know I don't just go to sleep, you know what I mean? But we know he does. But in this case, you got a guy who can't punch against a guy who can't take a punch. So it's the opposite of an unstoppable force against the movable object. It's like the opposite of that, So which one is going to dent, So we'll see. But I go in there with a great game plan, as I always feel I do, especially with Sharif, and we'll take it from there.
Now, what are we going to see? Are we going to see a technical fight, or are we going to see you try to go after his chin?
You'll see it a mix of both. I think. I don't think you can go in there with one game plan. I think you have to have different game plans and look at different things that you can possibly attack. And so we don't try. we try not to be one-dimensional, and we try to keep an open mind. That's pretty much the main thing I've noticed with Sharif, and that's made a big difference in my training style and my fighting style. Is that we try to think outside the box a lot.
He made a remark about you losing the hat.
Yeah,
do you make any remark about Prescott?
No, because unlike him, I mean, I'm sure he didn't. If he really believes what he says, then he's in some shit. Because it's a different fight. I'm a different fighter than when I fought Hatton. That was not only was I with Buddy McGirt, but that was after 2 years of Buddy McGirt. And again, you hate to say, you blaming one trainer, this and that. I've said it before. I'll say it again here. Buddy, okay, it wasn't like, how could this one guy ruin you so much? I tell you how one guy ruined me so much. It makes you fight low, get in the stance, get low. Okay, now you get low. If you're on the ropes, getting low is good. If you're on the inside, getting low is good. If I'm in the middle of the ring and I got 20 feet of room around me and I'm like this, I can't use the ring. I can't use it naturally. I can't use it fluidly. So what happens when I can't use my movement fluidly and set up my angles fluidly? What happens? I'm easy to track down. So once I'm easy to track down, what happens? I'm totally beatable. I'm a totally different fighter. So yeah, I got beat by the one-dimensional fighter. I had a horrible game plan, horrible trainer. Hindsight is 20/20. If I knew that going into it, obviously would have made the change before then. Hindsight is 20/20 though. So looking back now, especially with the success I've had since that fight and the way I've looked since that fight, obviously I'm right. But okay, Amir Khan's gonna go bring that out. I lost to a one-dimensional fighter when I fought Ricky Hatton. If I fought Amir Khan that night, he would have beat me. If I fought anybody, most fighters on November 22nd, 2008, they would have beat me. Because by then, in 2 years, I had gone from here to here. And it's amazing when I think about it, how a world-class fighter could be ruined by a trainer. You know what I mean? But that's what happened. And you can say I'm making it up, but how can you say I'm making it up when I've changed trainers and I'm back on a world-class fight level? I've been back on HBO winning big fights. Got myself to a championship fight right now, and it's not the first big fight I've been in since then. I beat Juan Diaz. I beat him twice. I don't get one decision, but I beat him twice. So, obviously I'm right. You know what I mean? And the proof is in the pudding. I don't have to just say it. The proof is in the pudding. So yeah, he said I lost to a one-dimensional fighter in Hatton. Yeah, you know what? Hatton beat Paulie Malignaggi in name. He didn't beat Paulie Malignaggi this fighter. He beat Paulie Malignaggi in name. I was a better fighter than I was in 08 and 06 when I fought Cotto. And I went down and now I came back up. You know what I mean? The trainer helped a big way in that. Amir Khan is fighting a very different fighter than the one that Hatton fought in 08. And that way Hatton is very fortunate because Hatton got to make an extra payday and fight Manny Pacquiao after that. He should have never won that fight. But if Amir Khan thinks he's fighting that guy, he's in for a long night on May 15th. That's why I don't bring up the British Prescott fight because honestly, I see the same thing in him. I see the same thing in him with the old trainers and the new trainer. I see a guy now that he brought in Freddie who's got him fighting more intelligently. Amir, these trainers, they don't teach us how to fight. We already know how to fight, but they make the game plan according to our strengths. They basically style you and mold you the right way. You know what I mean? So I think Amir is fighting much better now with Freddie. So I don't bring up the British Prescott fight because he's not running into punches with his chin out, going gung-ho and getting knocked on his ass. You know what I mean? He's not doing that since he's been with Freddie. So how can I bring that up? I think Amir brought that up just to get back at me for the things I said on the podium. Because if he really believes that, like I said, he's really in for a long night in May.
Hey, Paulie, so what does Sharif Unit bring different to the table to Buddy McGirt?
First of all, I bring more experience. I mean, I've had a lot of experience on a world-class level that Khan hasn't had. But again, sometimes experience can be overrated. If you can fight regardless of where you've been or how you got there. More than that, I bring a different versatility than anybody he's fought before. So he's gonna see something different in that way. I'm not your typical textbook boxer. I fight a lot of athletic ability, off of reflexes, so I make you miss at awkward angles, I make you pay at awkward angles, I attack at different angles. I have the ability to change the distance and the angle at a snap of my fingers, and I'm sure he has the same ability actually, because he's a fast fighter as well. But in that way, he's going to be seeing his mirror image in some spots, but also somebody who can think outside the box more. Amir is very fast, but Amir is more by the book than I am. You know what I mean? I'm not always by the book, but I can fight in different facets of the game.
Okay, and you call this your city. How's that been?